Good morning, welcome. This is LoreForged, the podcast for Ashes of Creation. We are your hosts. My name is Jibs, and I'm joined by Mr. Mountie himself from the northern plains of the Canadian wilds. Somehow migrated to Iowa. Our good friend, Sonny Ravencourt.
Well, I have an appointment in 45 minutes with a certain Snidely Whiplash who has tied a damsel to a railroad. So if we could kind of wrap this up, that would be great.
All right, no problem. I can do that. No problem. And from SoCal, White Thunder, Cash.
You want to know how he gets from the north, from all the way up in the Great White North into the south?
Go on.
It's a slippery slope, buddy. It's a slippery slope.
Is that a pun?
I don't know where to go with that.
What's happening there?
Take it however you want. It's wisdom.
Okay. Is it weird that my head thought
It's
went
like the
immediately
reverse
like,
Underground Railroad, I was thinking.
yeah.
Get from Canada out of there.
Well, it was either that or I'm like, is he acting like a sixth grader right now? Is there something I'm missing since the last episode?
He is an open book, folks.
Aren't you used to me acting like a sixth grader? I mean, that's actually a grade up from what I normally act. So,
Default. Yeah. Default.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, welcome, boys. What have you been doing in gaming this week? What's been going on?
Oh boy, man. I'm sorry. I went first on the introduction. Cash, would you like to go first? Would you like this moment?
My friend, I default to you. My friend of the north on the slippery slope.
Okay. So I've been playing Manor Lords, a lot of Manor Lords, and Manor Lords is a very interesting game. I don't get it. I don't get how they created a game. Like, basically, it's one dude also. How this one dude created a game that's so beautiful that it was on the top of the Steam wish list for everyone. Top game on the Steam wish list. And yet it's like missing a bunch of things. So like he nailed the beauty and aspect of this outdoor sort of medieval land better than almost any game I've ever played. And it's definitely not finished. So like, I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Imagine how the game would have been if he had two dudes.
Oh, yeah. No, I think about this all the time, right? And so, funny enough, I tried a different game. I was just looking through my library, and I just needed a break from Manor Lords. I've been playing it constantly. So I found this game that is exact same situation. Single dude, 5 years ago, created this game that everyone's like, my God, this is awesome. It's a game called Selig. And the complaint on Steam, first of all, it's like very, very positive. So it's excellent. And the complaint is, man, I wish this guy would get a friend to help him with this game. Because it's taking forever for him to implement the things, right? So I thought like, oh boy, that's not a good sign for Manor Lords. That's 5 years, still in early access.
That's
the joy of Match.com. It could have been there. Could have Match.com, those two dudes, and then now they're making games.
Farmers only, Christian mingle. I mean, there's got to be a place for this guy.
No, Jibs, we're not going to mention Grindr. That's disgusting.
Game devs only. Is there something like that? Can we find a place for these people?
Is Tinder where you swipe? Is that
Tinder is the swipe?
Tinder is the swipe.
I think.
Yes.
I don't know. Guys, I've been married for almost 25 years.
I know.
I have no idea about any of these things.
Every single one of us missed the Tinder world.
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems better than it probably is.
I kind of want to make a fake profile for Sonny on Tinder and just see where we go.
That's a bad idea. Let's not do that. Let's not do any of that.
Kelly, are you here?
Here you go, Sonny. This is me back.
Watching, but it's a bad idea.
This is me back in your play.
Dev Hub. There it is. Dev Hub. Only devs. Now we're really... we're sitting on $1 million idea here, LoreForged. That's how we're going to fund
We clearly
this podcast.
invested in the wrong IP. What are we thinking? I mean, we took a gamble already. Clearly, we weren't taking a strong enough one. Oh, gosh.
It's not often that I red flag.
You can red flag yourself for what you're doing.
I just had your back. I red flagged Jibs for you.
What did I do?
Enough flags. There's enough.
I'm like a saint
Amazon
compared
does not
to you.
sell enough flags for this podcast.
You were talking about making a fake profile for Sonny on Tinder. and I red flagged you.
I feel like the idea still stands. I mean, there's some good April Fool's merit there.
Wow. Are we going to talk about a video game or something tonight?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to tell me what you did in gaming this week.
Yeah.
Oh, I played a little bit of World of Warcraft.
You did not.
I played like probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 of World of Warcraft this week.
But he's got something. What are you reaching for? Do you got something?
Who, me?
Yeah, you got to.
If I had a flag, I would throw it.
Oh,
I don't have one.
I thought you were prepping for something.
No, it was a pen that was falling off my Darth Vader.
Oh,
I have a Darth Vader that holds my pens.
Oh,
up
look
to
at
me.
that!
Like,
Oh, look
my
at
word.
that! Goodness, Sonny, give him a good dusting. Look at the base of that. Fix that.
Yeah.
He is the Lord Vader. You need to treat him as
Probably
such.
needs a little loving care, but yeah, he holds my pens.
Oh, look at that.
He gives
That is
them to
awesome.
me.
This is
Beautiful.
the way.
Anyway, so that's what I was reaching for. But if I had a flag, I would throw it for Cash playing World of Warcraft again. It's like going back to a girlfriend that does not treat you right. Come on, man.
There you go.
No, that's like going back to a girlfriend that loves you unconditionally all the time.
But she's not right for you. You need to break it off. Clean slate.
But the weekends are fun.
How do I say this without potential cancellation of our show?
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're good.
Yep. All right, I got you.
Oh
I got
boy.
you.
Wow, that one didn't make it through the mesh filter of you, then just good decision.
Good on you. Way to level up tonight.
No, it's okay. I'll throw
You
it.
don't have to.
throw it
No,
out.
no, no,
Stand
no.
by
You're
that
good.
decision.
You're good. You're good.
No. I'm going to talk about Warcraft. I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to cancel our show inadvertently.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No, I was going to talk about Warcraft. Like, there's a reason that I'm doing it. Number one, I don't have a whole lot of time right now to play games, and I think I'm like really racing to the finish line here with my career, which is, I don't know why I'm sprinting at this point because I got a while to go. But there will be a time, I think, like right around the time Ashes comes out, hopefully all my gaming time is going to come back, and then you guys will never get rid of me. I'll be logged in all the time. But for right now, my life's changed a little bit. So I just have some different responsibilities at work, and things have slowed down for me on the gaming front, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to play games. I don't crave it. So I rolled my Ashes of Creation character in World of Warcraft.
Oh.
And it's Jib's fault because he's kind of been doing the same thing. And I literally am I'm slow walking through Stormwind like a true RPer. We're on Moonguard. This is a perfect segue into our show for tonight because I'm doing the RP things in Warcraft, and I'm not kidding you. Like last night, I'm super low level because it's a brand new character. I didn't get any levels at all last night because I walked around Stormwind and talked to NPCs, and I walked.
So you found the walk button?
Stormwind, yeah, you have to key it, but yeah, I literally walked around Stormwind just doing the things, and every time the freaking Lion Guard would walk by, my character would stop and just salute him. Thank you for your service.
They love it. They love it when you say that. You know that guard is like, oh my God, this guy.
I know. Get back to the barracks and
Every corner.
Did you see that tool on Maine? Jeez.
Don't walk down Main by the market.
Yeah, with his stupid wine-stained cloak.
He's been thanking people for their service all day.
Yeah. So anyway,
Ranger.
Yeah, Hunter. I went Hunter, but I went human this time.
Oh, that is rare for you.
I'm gonna leave it there. Is
JB,
Cash gonna
you
be
don't
an
ever
alien?
play humans either. Neither one of you play humans.
I don't play humans, but I like the Pyre, but I might have some other considerations going on here.
JB, do you play a human?
I like dwarf and human in Warcraft. Yep.
Hey there.
Hi.
Well, you're right. This is a good segue into the show.
It is. Well, everyone, thank you so much for push and play, listening. This is LoreForged. It's episode 39, and tonight, morning, evening, again, whenever you're tuning in, it's all about role play tonight in MMORPGs. We went to the Ashes of Creation Discord And we put out some questions. We're like, hey, we're going to be talking about this week on the show. We want to hear from you. So coming straight from guild masters, guild members, we are going to have just one ginormous roundtable discussion tonight. But before we get to that, we have a Cash Nice Gaming's coming on here soon. We're almost there.
Nice Gaming is coming on May 22nd, friends. Just a couple of short weeks away, and we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really good show.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good time.
Join us for that.
Yeah.
Little correction, though. You were just talking about going to a Discord. Did you go to the Ashes of Creation Discord, or did you go to the Ashes of Creation Roleplay Discord?
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah. And you can, by the way, if you want to join that, there's a lot of just wonderful people. If any of this piques your interest as we talk about this through today's show, you can go to LoreForged.com and you can find the link to the Discord right there. And so a lot of great people. But gentlemen, I think we just jump in. Like I don't know any other way to do it except just jump in right off the diving board here. And so you guys are good with that?
Yes.
Sonny has this look.
Yeah, man.
The look is because with the new headphones that I have, I've been adjusting some volumes, and then it just occurred to me that if I adjust the output on this thing, will it change JB's settings mid-show?
Oh my gosh.
and in my mind, I thought of the nightmare that I just might have caused, and I'm like, oh no.
You are a professional. Do not F up the show.
I should hit the button for that.
You really deserve that button, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
You are a professional. You are doing it wrong.
Perfect. Yep. Now send me that in post.
I will.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, everybody, again, thanks so much for hanging out. So we're going to just jump into this massive roundtable discussion. The way we've broken it up into two questions. The first one is why RP is important and the second question, is what can Intrepid do to help it succeed in Ashes of Creation? It's no secret we're fans of roleplay here at the show. We've been talking about it, and it's also no secret, if you've been paying attention, the guild, which the reveal for that. Do we want to talk about that? A reveal date on that yet? This is off the cuff. We have not talked about this behind the... No?
No.
Okay.
Hey, listen. Sometimes Steven holds cards close to his chest. That's what we're going to do right now.
We do have the date, though, but we're just not going to...
This is why you're so careful with releasing the quarter for Alpha 2, right? Because as soon as you say that it's coming out at this point and then you don't do it, it's pitchforks and torches time. So, gotta be careful.
Just put it this way. We are actively working on this project.
Yeah.
So it will be ready at within a palatable time frame. So it's on the way. And I guess that is soon, TM.
Soon.
But
watching you have to talk with like barriers of what you can say, Cash, is like watching you like pull teeth. It's quite
like trying to put fences around my rants, my epic rants. Absolutely correct.
Oh, well, we've been getting a lot of
compromise.
yeah, absolutely. All right, so why RP is important, and and then we're just going to jump into it. And this is from Anduin, the Guildmaster of the Grey Sentinels. It says, immersion clear and simple. It adds so much to the experience of an MMO that it can make a mediocre game something that players remember for years after they have long since left it. I think, and by the way, pause. There was a lot of feedback. We're probably not going to be able to get to it all. We're just sorry. We're just probably not going to be able to, but we've got quite a few submissions and things we're going to be talking about. So anyway, he says, I think roleplay adds another layer to games that developers cannot easily create. So guys, immersion. Clear.
I want to talk about something that was said in there that is not necessarily immersion, but the fact that Anduin said it can make a mediocre game something you will remember forever. Like, I think that's the line, right?
Yeah.
And there is a real nugget of truth in there, because I don't know about you guys, but I can definitely remember games that and I say this a lot about the development process, about giving players the tools to be able to make their own adventures and things like that. when you think back on your MMO careers of some of those moments that you will just never forget, for me, very rarely is it the things that would take the longest to develop, like that beautiful, raid boss dungeon and all of this other stuff, that developers have probably lost holidays for and sweated through grinding, dates that they have to come up with this stuff. And it's none of that. It's the simple things where you're doing something fun with a friend, or you find something in game that is just like this unseen thing that you get to experience together, and you have a whole backstory for it. And the mediocre game becoming something that you remember forever is dead nuts on, as far as a point goes, is for describing the way that I remember a lot of gaming experiences. It's not the highest end stuff that is the most memorable. It's the moments between friends, and it's the moments where you're doing something very fun. So yeah, I really like that point in the middle of it. And I guess, it obviously ties into immersion. That is immersion, right? But taking a mediocre game and making it fantastic just because of that element is really true.
There's something to be said about the content that is made by players. It's magical. And I realize that sounds super corny, and I don't care, but because it's true. It is completely magical when a player-made event or player-made experiences have the power to change the way that you feel about a game, for years and years, 10 years, 15 years behind you, where, we're onto a whole new generation of gaming and the way games look, but you still remember those fond memories. You're right. Most of those are not because you downed a boss or you ran a dungeon, which is not to take away from the love of the craft that the developers, the love and care that they're putting into the game. That sets the foundation for players to make their content. When I think about immersion, I think of something as simple as creating a backstory for your character, creating the reason why your character exists within the world that those developers are making. And, when I can look at the wiki and I can pay close attention to all these little lore bits and stuff that's coming out, and we can make videos about the lore of Ashes of Creation, just the skeleton of the story that we're going to get, and love it already, I'm even further going to love creating a character that has a story that puts him or her into that world with a purpose. We get to tell our own story, and that transcends and goes far beyond the things that the developers are setting in place for us. Already you get that sense of belonging in the world with your character, and it allows your character to have an overall role in the world, and it lets you have the ability to learn other players' stories and read them. These are players. These are people who are paying to play the game. These aren't developers, but we have the ability to do that through role play. And for me, it makes me, when your character has a story and a place and a sense of belonging, it allows me to tell the story of my character and allows me to fall in love with my own character.
It's really
That's
true.
why it's magical to me.
Yeah. It's sorry, I didn't jump on it then. It's really, really true, because I find myself like right now, like we're just biding time, right? We're like every other player, content creator, whatever. You're just playing games to fill the time. You need that. You need your fix of a game at some point to relax, chill, whatever, however, you game and why you game. But really, we're just passing time. And a lot of that, it's no secret for us. A lot of that's been just Warcraft. And I find it interesting that now I'm like level, 28. I personally enjoy more walking through the city and watching the story unfold with people who have taken time to add that base layer of extra story, that extra bit of lore in their backstory. Watching all that happen is incredibly exciting to me, way more than the game. Like it really is. Like, you know, aside from running content, like I'm healing because there's a chance I may go cleric in Ashes. So I have a human healer that's, you know, got this
This
whole
week.
human healer. And so I am, you know, it's crazy when Cash, you talk about the magic and then like that extra bit of story and, you know, like the why that you're there, the why that you are where your characters where they're at, and you're watching these other people, you know, interact. It is magical. It's immersive. I happily went to there's a group in Warcraft. It was Saturday evening. They were running a church service in the Temple of the Light, right? And of course, it's all like Warcraft themed, everything. And I have never seen so many people in my life. And it was put on in such a fashion, in such a way. I'm like, ooh, where my RPers at? Because let's do that thing. Wherever server we end up on, let's do AshesOfCreation themed and just see who shows up, because that was crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah. Dude, Sonny knows exactly where this is headed, just like I do. Jibs he's going to church services in World of Warcraft. He might be a cleric in AshesOfCreation. I'm just throw that out there right now.
There's a chance. You're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. So one of our good friends from one of the guilds, one of the RP guilds that we have mentioned in the past that just insanely impressed us is the Gilded House. And Cersei says, in regards to why is RP important, role play, as I see it, is an extension of your character. You give that character a name, a background, and a story that you get to experience throughout your time playing the game. Role play creates investment in the world you're in. Role players value lore and story because of that. And yes, it adds to the immersion of the game world. My first RP experience was in Guild Wars 2, and I saw a group of adventurers outside Divinity's Reach patrolling the roads. They were RPing in the open world, and I just started tagging along because it was cool to see and experience those characters, their stories, and how they immerse themselves in the world. The way I look at that is exactly what we've been talking about. That is exactly how I feel that role play like truly does add that third dimension. Sonny, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, and this was a really long answer. It was so long that I started to think that it was you that was talking about this, like telling your stories for a while. And then, because the reality is that we all have stories like this. And so Cersei's talking about how she found people in Guild Wars 2 that were just RPing down the road, and they were going on a thing to patrol the roads. Well, Guild Wars is a spectacular game for that. It's just built for that kind of stuff. And so it allows you to do a lot of things because of their dynamic events. Well, AshesOfCreation has, from what I can see, similar sort of dynamic events when you're out questing in the world. So I think that there's a real possibility that you could have those same kind of things. But I think that what Cersei is hitting on, the bigger point is that if you're not doing anything like this, like if you're just not, right? And I'm not saying that you have to, and I'm not saying that people that don't do this are not gamers or good gamers or anything like that, right? Like there's plenty of people that don't do this, but it is like another element of the game that's out there for fun. And that's the origin of the MMORPG. It's an RPG. It's a role-playing game. And somehow I think over time we've evolved away from that a little bit. And this is Cersei explaining how she sort of rediscovered that. And I think that that's fantastic. That is an element of the game that I don't want to see go away forever, because it really does add a ton to the MMORPG genre.
I think a lot of games were like that in the past. And I think I'm just going to throw it out there and just for food for thought, did games like World of Warcraft ruin that? Jibs, what are your thoughts on this?
On like ruin immersion in World of Warcraft?
Yeah, I mean, just your reaction to what Cersei was saying. Like, I know you've experienced this stuff. We talk about it all the time. Experiences this type of stuff in World of Warcraft, but at the same time, games like World of Warcraft that have sped things up for everybody so much, is that part of the downfall of why we lose some of this joy in games?
I think that's been the downfall of Warcraft for a while. The conveniences, and those conveniences take out the investment. Or they can hinder the investment. Let's say that. Maybe that's more appropriate. Like this may be weird to people listening, but I liked going to the trainer to train my mount speed when in World of Warcraft. It was like a rite of passage. It was part of knowing that you reached that point, right? And it's something small. And some people are like, oh, I got to stop what I'm doing and go train. But to me, it was like, I can train. I can do this thing now, That's what it used to be, and now it's definitely sped up. And yeah, to Cersei's point, roleplay really does create investment. So when I have my character right now that I'm playing in Warcraft and I'm going through this area, I enjoy it more because now I'm invested because I'm seeing it through his eyes of why he's there. I can go back through old content and just casually chill and take my time and see it through his eyes. And, it kind of gives you that passion and that desire to watch a character because of the backstory you've written. Like, how would they respond to that? What would that look like? Like, what would that interaction be like with other players? It's, it kind of goes back to the old mantra with me is everybody loves a good story. And it doesn't matter where you find it. Like, there's good story is good story and fun story. So, yeah, I agree with her.
Cash, let me ask you this as kind of like a spin-off on this, because you sort of hit it with World of Warcraft. And the first thing that came to mind when I thought of all the changes that JB, was talking about is those are all called quality of life changes. Does quality of life kill RP in games?
Oh,
not if a majority of your gameplay loop is RP, and if you're invested in RP, then no, it doesn't, because you can role play, you can act, you can thespianize around all of that stuff if you want to. Like, I was seeing it. Is thespianize a word?
Definitely not.
Nope. Yep.
Is somebody going to yellow flag me on that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, just wrong. Some things are just wrong.
My bad. No, and I think that even though you have those conveniences, people can still play around them. For instance, okay, there's dungeon finders, right? Mm-hmm. You can use the dungeon finders if you want to.
Quality of life. That's a quality of life improvement.
A quality of life thing. But if you also want to role play it, you can travel from Stormwind to the dungeon that you're getting ready to do on your mount with your guildmates that you have put together in a group to go complete said dungeon. You can do that. So the gameplay is still available for you to do that. You can play a game like World of Warcraft as raw and classic as you want. And I'm talking retail Warcraft for the most part. It might not be like that classic experience where, all of the gameplay features and everything are how the exact same way that they were in 2004, 2005, but you can still. And I know that we're using World of Warcraft as a massive example here, but as everybody knows, like, it's a huge MMO and it's the perfect platform to talk about this kind of stuff. But you can role play straight into it and not put on heirlooms, only put on the gear that you loot, not buy gold, not buy a gold token. Okay, I'm totally the dude that would buy a crap ton of tokens. Sometimes when I play, I'm not doing that because I'm choosing to role play through this character and play it as if my character is just this peon that is, born into the world and trying to make his way. So yeah, even though there's modern conveniences in these games, you can absolutely role play right around them. You can make up anything you want.
Yeah.
Hardcore mode.
Yeah, I'm not going that far. I'm gonna be respawning.
Permadeath, one step too far. I'm gonna hit Kazrim's comment here. It's largely the same kind of things that we've talked about, but he did write a comment here that was long. Turns out that our peers like to write. Brevity might not be their thing. So
It is not a thing.
Kazrim, the guild member of Dunehold, says, take a deep breath here. RP is honestly one of the most important aspects of an MMO, even as a manly PvPer like myself. Even when the game's story comes to an end, another opens up due to RP. And the more RP that the game supports, the longer the game will stay alive and well. Just look at Final Fantasy XIV and how many community events take place and just how extremely popular those events are. It brings the community together through thick and thin and lets people build everlasting relationships through the virtual world. I honestly believe there's really no measure to how important RP is in a game, let alone an MMORPG. Without it, there would be no game, no community, nothing to do after all has been done. There would just be an empty virtual world to do the same thing over and over again, expecting another result. Thank you, Kazgrim.
Yeah, that's incredibly
good.
That's incredibly accurate, without a doubt. 1000%.
I agree. I mean, it brings people together. That's largely what he's saying, and I think that we've hit that a number of times. That like, if you're looking to cement yourself some friends, like this is a pretty good way of doing it, right? You're going to just experience the game within the game, and look at us, like 13, 14 years of knowing each other and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, a lot of it's been through podcasting, but we're always playing games together, and it's not, it's not the accomplishments that we remember. It's those moments of fun gameplay outside of the big box type of stuff that.
And your wife pays us.
Well, I did not know that, but that would explain a lot.
It's a pretty hefty sum, actually.
Tell her she's short on payment this week.
I will not do that. You can do that. Apparently, you've got the relationship. Backdoor channels, so
I will not do that.
Go ahead and talk to your own bookie. All right, next question. So here we go with question number 2.
Well, hang on, I want to hit on that. So when he's talking about community events, like community events in general, like let's take RP out of it for a minute. Community events is the things I remember studying about SWTOR. When we were I have 2 YouTube videos on my personal account. They're both like under link. One of them is the Thermopylae. The event that you held in SWTOR.
I'm so proud of you. You said it right.
Turns out when you're a marketer, you have to use the words correctly.
Yeah, Sonny, do you remember that Thermopylae event?
Thermopylae.
Yeah, so I mean, like stuff like that, in Cash when we did Human Darts and Lore Seekers and ESO, like even if you take RP out of it, the community events are where it's at. You add RP into it, and then you've got story. And if you enjoy those things, no matter what it is, community run events is without a doubt amazing. So yes,
we gotta look at that, because those
Thermopylae
truly are like decades old memories, right?
Oh, I've got the link.
So when Ashes comes out, we got to think about that. Katie was really good with that too. Katie and Connor are both really good at those kind of things. So
yeah,
we are definitely going to have some community, like off the wall events.
Can we do a Thermopylae like on our anniversary for our sake? Just like the old time.
That would be good. The other one that was really good, that worked really well, was the jumping puzzle races through Guild Wars 2.
Oh, that was the best. Those jumping puzzles. Oh my gosh.
Jumping puzzle races.
Yeah.
That might be a whole other show where we talk about like some other stuff that Ashes could put in to like make it super fun. I would love to see some jumping puzzle. I don't want to derail this, but I would love to see some type of, don't even call it a jumping puzzle, because that might make it sound a little bit like, like kids play, but some type of adventure type of a jumping challenge.
Oh yeah, for sure different.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's like the generic cereal.
It doesn't mean I don't want freaking candy canes and freaking snowflakes and everything during Christmas to jump on.
Oh my God.
Giant candy corns flying at me.
Do you remember how good Conniff was at those things and like
It's
how
stupid.
frustrated you would be trying to do it?
Yeah. I said the F word a lot trying to do those things.
God, yes. And you couldn't even stop. You couldn't stop yourself from saying it. Like you'd try to stream it and everything would be good. And you know you're on the air. And then you'd jump like an inch short. And you just like, ah!
Dude, what would be funny is when we were all in there in Discord and there's like 8 to 10 of us and it's silent. Like everyone's just playing, and just chilling. And then all of you see her, mother out of nowhere.
Hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
It was usually me.
Yeah, it was. Dude, that one in the mountain. Remember that? The one that was hidden in the mountain? Holy crap. I had to walk away from that.
There would be a full group in Discord, and I'm going through those things. We totally derailed this. It's my fault. But there's a full group in Discord, and I'm trying to go through these things, and it would be quiet, and I would just be like, are you okay, dude? And I'm like, this roughin', flappin', sackin', jackin', jumping puzzle.
We'd all know what it was, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Or just it'd scare the crap out of you too, though, because you're like getting used to the silence in your game, and you're like out in a field, and it's the rustling of like wheat and stuff, and then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, it's just
Yeah.
like, Jesus. What happened?
Your heart rate.
People put up their dukes, like, what the hell?
I legit remember Cash making me jump out of my chair one time. He did that. It was a perfect serene moment. Something similar, Sonny. I think I was actually working the market. Now I think in one of the main cities, and then he lets one loose. I'm like, jeez, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like
I don't know if that's like role play or not. Like,
no.
Giving someone a heart attack.
That's real play.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
That's good. Okay, I gotta adjust my eyes here to read the next question because I'm crying, thinking of like the horror of falling just short of a candy cane.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh my gosh.
This is the worst. Okay, so here is the question, and this is a good question, honestly, because it really does drive home the point that there are things that can be done here. So the question is, what can Intrepid do to help roleplay succeed in Ashes of Creation? Anduin, the guildmaster of the Grey Sentinels. I like how we have like, it's like, state your name, state your title.
Anduin, the guildmaster of the Grey Sentinels.
I know, it's so formal. Intrepid has already planned to implement a lot of RP systems. Plenty of emotes, transmog costume systems, and custom furnishings in a house that a player can own. What they need to add in that other games failed to do, guild cosmetics, more than just a cape or a tabard. I would like to see shields with guild emblems, flags, and banners that a character can carry. I do know that they talked about banners in the last like Q&A, that you will be able to put banners down. Perhaps even a unique guild transmog created by guild leaders that any member can put on a certain rank. Bring on the feeling of true membership to bring on a more immersive side of belonging to something. Cash, let me start with you. Nope, JB, let me start with you. I started with Cash last time. JB, let me start with you on this one.
Thanks for the deke.
Yep, sorry, tough luck. Better luck next time. Is there anything that Intrepid... Is there anything, like, is there any limit to putting something like this in a game? Or is this just no-brainers that, they should take some time and do these things?
I mean, it really just comes down to time, right? I mean, they have such an amazing development team, just an amazing group that I really think that Steven is, at least the vibe I get, is like kind of like just letting them flex their muscles on whatever they're working on. Like, just be creative, just really go at it. So yeah, I think if we had the time, I wouldn't say at launch, like, let's make this something in the future kind of add on. If it's not on the table right now, just let it lie and we'll come back to it, and maybe a new update. Because yeah, ultimately I would love to be able to see shields with guild emblems, flags, and banners. I just think that would be cool, because I will say it makes an impression on you. That I can say. From a 20-year-old game in Warcraft, when you have a guild with banners and everyone standing there and you see the guild presence there, it catches your eye. It, no matter what, whether you're into this or not, look, it catches your eye. So yeah, I would love that.
Well, it raises a good question though, because you said, you know, if it's not in at launch, then okay, but like, let's get there eventually. Are these the kind of things that need to be in there pretty close to launch to make it the game that people want?
I don't think.
Cash? Sorry.
Yeah,
He's not. He was giving me an aggressive nod.
Yeah, he was. Did you see that? He was. Shin was about to break his microphone.
He cut you off with a nod. Is what happened.
Did. It's right. It's a type A thing.
That's the get Jibs to STFU nod. You guys got to learn that with me because I run roughshod sometimes with my comments. I don't know if you noticed. You know, I tend to have a lot of give on this one when it comes to things that I'm willing to see in expansions and future patches and such. I'd be okay with that because we've said it a lot that we are here for the long haul. But I don't think that these types of things are major systems that are going to take, you know, infinite development. You're gonna need to design the ability for various crests and stuff to be created for some of these banners and battle standards and guild shields. And yeah, of course that takes work, but it's not the naval system, you know? So some of these things that are touted to be features of the game, yeah, they need to be there. I think this is kind of one of them. Guilds is a major thing that people are going to be looking forward to and building and fostering as they go on, because if you don't have community, you don't have a game. Despite all the amazing features that you can put in the game. So from a non-developer's perspective, I can say with, you know, semi-conviction that this should not be a thing that is left out at the game's launch. They should be able to have things like this in. You know, imagine things like guild customization or guild castle customization. That was one of the things that I had on my list. Like, how cool would that be to, you know, have your guild's crest on
that is going to be
your guild's castle? I know it's planned.
Yeah,
that's planned, but it's just one of the things that I'm excited about. Another thing that came up is like, you know, having some type of uniforms for your guild, for the organization of and the people that you are playing with. Now, this is less of a game feature and more of a guild thing. But imagine you have the same color schemes, not necessarily like the same armor types. Like some of your players are going to have light armor, heavy armor, medium armor. But if you're in the same color schemes with the same crests, imagine seeing that coming over the rise.
Ooh.
Like that would be terrifying, would it not?
Oh yeah.
Like it, yeah, you'd be running into a legitimate army carrying standards and they're all wearing the same color, like,
right.
Yeah.
Just short of a dude with bagpipes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So maybe we could put in a petition for that.
Bards. Why can bards not be like war musicians? Oh my God.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm wearing kilts.
Exactly. So, you know, when it comes to the guild customization and the things that Intrepid can do, I think that a lot of those features will be in place for us, but it's not necessarily what can Intrepid do. It's how creative can the player get, you know, and I say this and I'll pop this over to Jibs and maybe you can respond to this, but like, I absolutely think that there needs to be some kind of a central hub, and this will probably be more on the player, but there needs to be, particularly for you, Jibs, and your ERP e-boy tendencies, some type of like a gold,
we're going there.
Goldshire, like a Lion's Pride Inn for you to, you know, kind of get your clown on. But I don't know what you're into.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're doing great.
No, that's it. It's all you, bud.
Okay.
Don't climb yourself out of that cave.
You're gonna drop that grenade and just close the door.
Grenade. It's missing something.
Did I flip a grenade under your chair again? Sorry about that.
So sidestepping that last portion, yeah, you know, for me, guild customization, it would be fantastic, you know, to see it in the game. You know, and Pin and Brawl in chat says that Steven has already said the founding guilds will have banners of the guild in the town, and they're already a thing to some point. So, you know, like, I would love that. I really would. I really would love that. But ultimately, and to your other point, Cash, about things being reliant on the player, we will probably, and it will be different every server, right? Like where, and that's a cool thing. So in Warcraft, most people go to Stormwind, then they hang out in the temple district, or they hang out in the trade just shy of the trade district, and the whole area where Anduin's dad's buried, like that whole memorial, like that's there's hot spots there, and then throughout the rest of the world, there's events going on or whatever.
And the Lion's Pride.
And the Lion's Pride Inn, yeah. That one doesn't. You know, I had to go there to finish a quest. You keep bringing this up, so I'm just going to go there. I had to go there to turn a quest in. I logged out as soon as I possibly could.
You guys need to open your perspectives.
Oh, Sonny, we'll take you there.
Horizons.
You want to see that? We'll take you there. We will take you there.
Just as a super quick one, I'll give it back to you. I'll give it right back to you, Jibs, but just as a super quick thing, Sonny, if you walked into the Lion's Pride Inn on Moonguard and you read some of their character bios, you would say nope and turn around and walk right out. Trust me.
The character bios.
Oh,
through. So you've got the mod.
Yeah. So they have the add-on. And Jibs, what is it? It's
that's like RP
Total
something.
RP3.
Total RP3.
Total RP. Yeah.
And you can, which is, it's going to bring another point that I have coming up about the features of Total RP3, this add-on. But you can read anything that other players write on these bios, and it is downright terrifying reading some of this stuff. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I had a thought about this, and this goes back to a recent video that I was on, which was Burns's Bespoke, and he added about I can't remember what the question was, but it was, my answer to the question was that I wanted to know whether or not I could customize the food and drinks in my own tavern, right? You have the freehold system, which, you know, is its own thing, because the freehold, I think, is a fantastic place to develop RP because it's your place, right? Anything that can be yours and can be customized by you inherently makes it a thing where you are able to exert your personal influence on the world, which is good. And so I think it stresses people out constantly to think about, you know, the freehold system maybe not being accessible, because those are the kind of people that really like that kind of stuff. But inside the tavern, if you're able to have a tavern, if we're able to have the Sleepy Owl Tavern, and I'm able to change the name, something as simple as just change the name of the food. That's it. That is not, as Cash would put, the naval system, right? We are not developing Sea of Thieves in this game. We are changing the name of a burger, you know? And that is so simple, and yet it's so good. It's just one of those things that those simple kind of things would go a long way. Can you imagine how much fun we would have if we were able to have drink specials, or the Friday night drink special, and you were able to like have a special drink that maybe, you know, even if it didn't have like special buffs, so you just got to choose between one of 5 different preset, you know, buff recipes, so that it wasn't, you know, crazy overpowered or something like that. It would just be so easy and so much fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Agreed 1,000%. Our next question we have here is from, or actually response, I'm sorry, is from Cersei, Guildmaster of the Gilded House. Shout out to Gilded House. Good people there. Intrepid has a great ally in Steven, and while I'd love to see an official RP server, I think as long as Intrepid continues to acknowledge the impact role players will have on their world, it will be great. I'd like to see, like Anduin said, more personalization, customization, the ability to interact with the world. Role players love playing around and mixing and matching cosmetics, being able to lean against the wall or change their sitting position, custom emote. So interaction with the world. Like ESO did a great job with that. The what was it? Coin
Lean.
flip or lean? Was that what it was?
Oh yeah. Well, one of them was lean. It's funny because I know exactly where your head's at. Yeah, one of them was lean, and the other one I think was coin flip.
Yeah, that one when you lean against the wall and you would flip the coin.
Flip.
That was cool.
So you're just
yeah,
flipping a coin.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's cool.
It was. Yeah.
It's cool if there's not like it's cool if there's more than that option. Otherwise, you have a series of people leaning against the wall flipping coins. And you're like, why? Why is everyone so?
If you could get that in unison, that'd be cool.
Coins?
I don't care what anyone says. That'd be awesome.
That's true.
Now, so that it does bring up a whole other thing though, and like I know Steven is 100% against pay to win, which I think is beautiful, and he's all about if they're going to have any type of microtransaction shop, it is going to be cosmetic only. Well, do emotes not fall right within not that I'm saying that I loved the way that ESO did it because they charged a premium for their stuff, but at the same time, like they had emotes, personalities. Now the personalities could be a little bit too much at times, I think, for role play. Like you could put the personality on that your character was drunk. Well, there'd be people walking around drunk 24/7. It's like, okay, was kind of funny for like the first 20 seconds. And now you're just kind of dumb with doing that. But they just leave their character going around dungeons with that thing with a mug in their hand the entire time. It's like, okay, that's pretty stupid. But a lot of the emotes that a lot of the role players used were really freaking cool. Like that dude leaning up, he was just leaning up against a thing like flipping coins. Then there was one where you could spill all the coins you had. They just all over it was super, super cool. I would have zero problem with there being microtransaction type of emotes that if you really liked and it fit your character, that you had the ability to purchase those. I did like that about ESO. So it just opens it up, right?
It's an interesting question though, right? Like it just occurred to me that the people that you're charging the most for are the role players, right? Because pay to win, everyone agrees, nobody wants pay to win, right? You don't want to be able to get more money. No, let me rephrase that. You don't want players to be able to pay money to give them a competitive advantage against other players or the game itself. But the role play stuff has always been fair game. But if you're charging all of the players to role play, it kind of seems a little unfair, but at the same time, I don't have a better answer for it, right? It just is it is the way to do it. Maybe role players are fine paying that money to do that extra stuff. I don't know.
So
it's just a weird thought that just kind of brewed up here.
No, and that's fine. It's fair. But here's a counterpoint to that is that everything that is going to be in a cosmetic only shop can be considered role play. Also could be considered role play characters who are just interested in player versus player or player versus environment, but they really care what their character looks like. That is also a form of role play, right? So if it's all cosmetic and there's a bunch of items that people could get to outfit their character so they look cooler, although that's a form of role play, it's not the only thing that will be in the shop. You might have some emotes that the role players enjoy and they buy, but what if there's some kick-ass finishers in there? Like after you down a character in PvP, now you just click a button that you've macroed and then all of a sudden, this dude's doing some freaking cool, like, in front of the other character, like a freaking, like dropping a nutsack or something like that. Hopefully that doesn't take place. Please, dear God, don't let there be a nutsack emote. That would suck.
I don't like putting any of that behind a shop paywall. And in my opinion, I feel like ESO really, by the end of our time there, I feel like it was already really starting to make that turn where there was a lot of investing going on to the shop and things that should probably not have been there and should have been put behind accomplishment in game. And when it comes to things like this, I just, it feels yucky to me.
It does.
It feels yucky.
It
and
does.
I don't like that being put behind a paywall in the shop. It just feels gross.
Then what do you put in a shop?
You put cosmetics like the armors or something if you want.
How is an emote different than a cosmetic, than a piece of armor?
I feel like...
Wouldn't you rather earn a piece of armor in the game and have an emote be something that you could purchase?
Honestly, if it was my opinion, I wouldn't have a shop at all. I would just say, hey, here's your $15 a month and call it a day.
I think that's the problem, is that they're just varying levels of RP, right? The shield look is RP, the finish is RP, all the emotes and all of the cosmetic stuff is all just RP to me. It's all, do I want to spend a little bit of extra money to make my character a little bit more of me, right? That's all it is to me. And so there's a real argument that none of this should be behind a paywall if you're paying a subscription fee. Okay. Now I can get away with these hybrid. I can deal with these hybrid models that say, look, if you pay the subscription fee, you get all of it. If you don't, and you go free to play, then you want to, like, how can I say, like, a la carte your player, then I can be okay with that as well, right? Because then you're kind of getting a little bit of both. But I don't like the subscription fee. I'm cool with, right? Because yeah, I'm paying a subscription. I'm okay with that. It's been a system that's existed in MMOs forever, and I'm okay with doing that and getting all of the things. I don't want to pay a subscription fee and then also be nickel and dimed by a shop to be able to make my player have a cool outfit. I don't like
How are
that.
you nickel and dime? They're not forcing you to buy it. It's just an additional option for them to make money to support the game that we want to play for a long time. Look, Sonny, I've put a lot of time into videos and podcasting once a week. I want to play the game. And if it helps to support them by having a cash shop for the folks that will buy things like me, I'm okay with it. It feels dirty to you, doesn't it? Look at your face.
It really does. It just really does.
I'm with Sonny.
I think that if you pay a subscription fee, you shouldn't be asked to pay anymore. Ultimately, that's where I'm falling on this thing. It's like if you can't get this game done by getting a subscription fee of $15 per month per person, or whatever the modern equivalent is. Like $15 a month was honestly what people were paying in Warcraft in 2003. And God knows what I was buying in things in 2003. They were worth more than they were then. So maybe that number needs to go up. I don't know. Okay. But what I'm saying is, if whatever that subscription fee is, I don't want to have a cash shop after that. If we do a free to play model short of the subscription, then okay, all bets are off, right? They got to make money. They got to make that stuff happen. Maybe you do. Maybe you offer both of those things. So
I agree.
It just doesn't feel right.
I agree. I'm honestly on your point, Sonny, about inflation for a monthly subscription. Like, surprising, like that hasn't gone up over the years. I'm shocked.
Really
it probably should be $20 a month. I'm not trying to put that out in the air, but I'm just saying I'm kind of surprised of all the things. We saw video games go up to $70, which is stupid, ridiculous.
$70 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for a game you may not even like, you know? But and we have never seen those numbers shift. I'm surprised we haven't. But yeah, I
mean, really, when you think about it, right? Like $20 versus $15 is a 25% increase. Okay. 25% increase from prices that were 20 years ago. You would think that was a bargain.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Seriously. You can't even buy what is it, like a number 10? You go to a restaurant. Yeah. You can't even get a meal for that.
That's not 25%. You know, that's like like 50 to 75% more than what it was in 2003. So
Yeah.
yes. All right, Cash. 2-1. Sorry, you're off the island.
Travis spoken.
It's fine, but all right, I'm throwing this out there. I think we need to have this discussion again. I don't want to derail too much the role play thing. We're just talking about cosmetics and the things that we like, but I truly think this is the first time that all three of us have really disagreed on something. I am 100% against you guys on this.
Is it weird that I thought you were?
Yeah, I don't want to go any more into it. This could be a whole other show. I'm not mad. I love you guys. I just think that you're wrong in this one.
No, and this is one of the hallmarks of our show is that we are different gamers, right? Like some of these things we are just going to disagree about, and that's fine, right?
Yeah,
it's a big genre, and there's a lot of different ways to make a game. Like there's just no way that reasonable adults will agree on every single aspect of these kind of things.
We got to talk about this.
Oh, we will.
We got to table this conversation.
Good. Yep. Yeah, that's a good one.
We shall make it so.
Make it so.
Yeah, and give us a week to prepare for it.
I'm going to find a guest to come on that agrees with me also, so that I'm not 33.3% of getting turded on. The entire
you
show.
might have. Are you willing to roll the dice and see what Nice wants to do with this?
We could do this as one with Nice, but that show is going to be more about Nice as opposed to.
It's got to be a nice show.
So I think this will be a great one. I feel very strongly about my ability to defend myself against you two dudes.
No, you don't.
So,
Nice. Tell us about your gaming background and why cash shops are evil.
Cash, take us on the last one.
Okay, so this one's very near and dear to our heart because this is Des, and Des was the gracious person that reached out to us and talked to us about the RP community in the first place and helped us to find it. So thanks so much, Des. And also, Des is the guild master of the Revis Order. So this is what Des says. Chat organization tabs or bubbles for those of us who have multiple conversations going on at once and want to separate them and have them organized to sort away from confusion. I totally agree with this. Having certain tabs is fantastic if you're having multiple types of conversations, especially RP. Des continues, character sheets with enough space to type in a decent piece of origin or enough cliff notes, RP props, and emotes like lanterns and special effects like prestigitation.
Whoa.
I'm going to have to effing look that one up. Special dances or martial arts movements. Earnable in-game from quest lines or something like that. So, Jibs, I'm going to throw this one at you first. And in particular, the part about having character sheets and why that is so dang important in the role of an RPer and coming from the perspective of a developer to provide those tools for players.
After having that through an add-on in Ashes of Creation, or World of Warcraft, with having those character sheets, kind of like you were talking about earlier, that Total RP3 add-on, not having it in a game that's getting ready to come out to an extent, right? Like you can't just like, oh, hey, I need you to do this. Well, you can't, but I feel it would be a loss not to have it. It is so exceptional for laying the groundwork and the background for your character. I've got stuff set up to where people've got hooks. So when they look at me, here's some story hooks that they could start talking about, that they could pull from to get their characters into conversations. You've got your whole history. Like I put it's all in there and people can see it and they can read it and get an understanding. And then we can form these long-term RP relationships for these characters. Let these things grow and mature. And when you don't have that, ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to have to force the player outside of the game to a document, to a Discord server, something outside of the game. And the goal, at least in my head, is you always want to keep them in game, right? You always want to. It's no different at LoreForged. If we have a podcast, if you're not into that, we've got YouTube content. If you're not into that, we have community. It's like a circle. It's the same
like a
thing
Vegas
to me.
casino.
It's
Nice plug.
It's the same
Nice
thing.
plug. That was pretty good.
We're a Vegas casino.
It's not what I was trying to do, but I was just making a point. But anyway, I feel like
We're a
would be
Vegas
missed.
casino, then we're the San Remo.
We're off strip.
It needs to be a shirt.
Yeah, I thought it was important for us to especially hit on the viewable by other players, whether by a toggleable button or something where you can see their character sheet. And I'm glad you said that, Jips, because it's a super important thing for us as budding RPers and like being able to play with it in certain games. And now, you know, as we're doing it in Warcraft, it does it really does help to kind of add some flavor so you can see where other players are at. You can see what their tendencies are as role players. And you kind of know like how to approach that person if you just want to do like some open action role play or something like that. It's pretty cool. Sonny, I want to throw this part at you because Des mentioned something that is a very cool tool for our peers, especially for if you're coming into an area and you're not sure if RP takes place in this area, or you're coming to an area just to explore and you see these things taking place, you can get excited like, oh man, there's RP going on here. And that has to do with chat bubbles. What are your thoughts on chat bubbles in for RP purposes in a game like AOC?
Now you're talking about like the chat bubbles, like the like if my character is /say, then you physically see them say it like a comic book, right?
Right. If you're in proximity, if you're within a certain view distance, you can visually see what they're saying.
I think they're awesome because the alternative is that you hear them like in a microphone, and that's terrible. I don't want that at all, right? Like with the chat bubbles, it's like the difference between audio and visual for me, right? Like the audio stuff lets me imagine things, and the chat bubbles let me imagine things still. When you add too much realism and you let me hear the people in like an actual microphone, then everything gets destroyed. So the chat bubbles are really important. And this falls in a lot of the same categories for me, which, you know, JB said that, you know, if they're not, well, you can't just drop this kind of thing in on the game and expect them to do it. Well, I think you can, right? Like it's just not that hard to be able to put some of this stuff in there because it's like text based. You just make a bigger box for the character to let them type their backstory in there. The chat bubbles may take a little bit more effort, but we're not like inventing the wheel here, for God's sakes. We're not trying to invent the cotton gin. Like this is something that exists. It is an important thing that has existed in other games. We're just telling you that it's more important than maybe you realize.
But Sonny, it's a printing press that prints the newspaper.
You put the letters in the right order, and I just keep cranking out Bibles. All day Bibles. Look, Bill's been scribing for 100 years. He's only has one functioning hand anymore. This thing prints Bibles.
Yeah, but Bill's a dick. So the one thing that I will say about that is that for as much as I like and would like to see chat bubbles for RP purposes in Ashes of Creation, I do remember the middle of the city in Coronet in Star Wars Galaxies or on Tatooine in freaking Mos Espa or Mos Eisley. And you would walk through the marketplace and all it was white chat bubbles everywhere with people selling everything. You'd see one pop up that was interesting and you'd be like, oh, that's what I want. And it would go away and you wouldn't be able to find it. And you'd be scrolling through the text like, where was that one? Say it again.
Baron's chat in chat bubble form. Yeah, that's the nightmare, right?
In chat bubble form. But the only reason I say I like that I like chat bubbles, I'm a fan of them, is because it does bring a little bit more immersion. Like you're really walking through a town square and there's all these conversations going on. I agree that I don't want proximity chat. I do not want proximity chat. And I don't think that's going to be a thing in Ashes. We're going to have to check on that. I don't think it's going to be. But what do you have with that? You have people playing freaking gangster rap while you're walking through town in proximity chat and just absolutely crushing immersion. And there's nothing that would drive me more crazy than that in freaking New World. God.
I can't think of anything worse than proximity chat. Chat bubbles getting blown up in a town with chat bubbles is bad, but proximity chat is so much worse.
Oh, it's way worse.
It's like all good things can be ruined by people, right? Like humans have a great ability to take something good and just ruin it. So yeah, there's ways that you can ruin this, but there's also like fixes to the fixes, right? You just have the guy at the end of the assembly line throwing out the bad ones. It's not a great system, but there's got to be a way to fix that kind of thing where you can just turn off chat bubbles in certain zones, or make it so that chat bubbles are only guild members you can see their chat bubbles or something like that, right? So you're like only people in your friends list. I don't know. I'm just coming up with ideas, but to get that kind of thing out of there, because let me tell you, if you want to ruin immersion in Warcraft, you turn on trade chat. Okay, that'll do it. That's the end of your immersion.
Oh yeah, listen to politics and trade chat. Like that's just my favorite thing to not do.
Absolute nightmare. It's like I'm either being tried to sell me gold or talk about a current event that I really don't want to in my game.
Tell you how to vote in the next election.
Yeah, those two options. It seems like those are the only two options in trade chat. Yeah. Miserable, right? But like, again, not to end the show on a negative. There are so many things that are good about in-game RP tools. And my thesis statement for this whole thing is they're just not that hard to implement. They don't take a lot of manpower to implement them. Put them in there, give us some tools to turn them on and off, and just let us go. And that will be good enough for me. And we will take care of the rest. We will self-police ourselves on this thing if you give us the tools. And it'll be great. So that's what I would say about that, JB.
I don't see another better way to end it. That's well said. Well said indeed. Well, again, everybody, if you want to continue the conversation, continue chatting, maybe you're interested in RP yourself, what that looks like for you, come join the ARC community. So it's Ashes Roleplay Community. The Discord the link is at LoreForged.com. It's listed on our landing page there. You can come join and be a part. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this show, let us know how we're doing. Simple comment, whether you're watching on YouTube or just leaving a review on your podcast app, does help us and let us know what you like and how we're doing. We certainly do appreciate it. You can always call us at 516-875-1776. And of course, you can always email us loreforgedhq@gmail.com.
I like it when you say Sunny at the
Sunny.
end, so that I know.
We noticed.
I'm like waiting.
You are a professional. Be able to adapt and overcome.
I know it's my turn. I'm just waiting.
Be able to adapt and overcome.
Okay, you can go to LoreForged.com to find the links to all of our Ashes of Creation content. That is where our link tree is. By the way, speaking of which, and this will lead into the Twitch. I might as well tell you that. You're watching Twitch right now if you're watching the show live, and that is twitch.tv/LoreForgedHQ. I am going on the Ashes of Creation live AMA with Steven on Friday. By the time you listen to this podcast on iTunes or whatever you're listening to, Spotify, that will be Monday. This will have already happened, so you'll be able to probably see it on YouTube, I would imagine. But I was thinking about how to pitch this show because they're going to be like, okay, tell us where they can find you. And we spend the last 5 minutes of our shows telling people where they can find us. There's got to be a faster way. And so it is going to be the link tree, I'm afraid. The link tree basically gets you everywhere. It gets you to the YouTube, which is youtube.com/LoreForged, which, by the way, JB has a fantastic video out there. I really, really enjoy his latest stuff. There is good stuff out there. And then Cash got a plug from Intrepid themselves about his Berry Crumble. Was it the Berry Crumble one, I believe?
Yeah. Yep. All his old Old Sneakfoot's Berry Crumble.
Sneakfoot's Berry Crumble. So they clearly like our stuff. Or at least Cash's stuff. Who knows? And finally, Patreon.
They like Berry Crumble.
They just like food. Even money, right? Patreon, and that's where you can become a patron for our show, and we really, really appreciate those people. They get all of our stuff early, and they get access to the State of the Owl, which is our behind-the-scenes podcast, and that happens once a month. Live, we're gonna do some fun stuff with that as well. So next is Cash.
Friends, follow us on X, the former Twitter, for some fun stuff and announcements of the things that we are doing and have going on and things that are upcoming. You can follow us on our Instagram page, which is a little bit more personal and fun, like kind of our real life stuff going on. Sunny likes to post a lot of videos about getting stung by bees and such.
Not stung once.
There you go. That's actually
Look,
that's
my
pretty
dog
good.
Came real close to eating one this morning on that video.
Oh. Have you ever seen the pictures of animals after they
God.
have anaphylactic reactions?
I'm sorry, but those are so funny. They're so funny. I feel bad, but the video, like the pictures are hilarious.
They're awesome.
With like a schnauzer, she's like a chipmunk because it ate a bee. I'm sorry, it's just funny. Sometimes it's funny to watch people fall down or take a football in the groin. You know, like this is in that category.
This is so bad. I would rather see a human effed up than I would a dog or a cat. I'm so sorry, but it's the truth. Okay. Let's all right, we're treading on some dangerous waters here. Okay. Friends, we had a really busy week in our Discord, and I just want to give a lot of love and some shout outs to Wu King Yi, Martin JMS, Keo, Krazd, Ren, Zooks, Aura Frostline, Lord, and Twisted Mystic for joining the ForgeFam this past week. Thank you very much. Don't forget, our community is for anybody who's interested in Ashes of Creation. You can pop on in there and just shoot the crap with us about Ashes, or you can pop in there and just talk about games or whatever the heck you want, as long as it's not politics or religion.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, we love you all. Jibs.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We love you, and we will see you next week right here on LoreForged. Take care, everybody.
Peace, love, and honeybees.
Safe travels, adventurers.